In this episode, let's get into the detailed features of the tool. We've talked about the main screen in last episode. So now let's move to the KeyTool Max Pro screen. In the middle, you'll see Immo Programming, Remote Program, Remote Clone, Transponder Clone, Generate Transponder, Immo Data Tool, or what we say Right Key by Dump, TPMS, Special Function, and My Favorite. We'll talk about these functions one by one. So let's begin with a simple one, Remote Program. To start, we need to know the different types of vehicle remotes. Currently, there are 4 types of vehicle remotes in the market, which can be actually divided into 2 types. One is non-smart key, and the other is smart key, and the 2 types include 4 categories due to different composition. For these 4 categories, Xhorse have come up with corresponding solutions to deal with different remotes. Let's talk about non-smart key first. Non-smart key includes 2 categories, ordinary remote and electronic integrated remote. Ordinary remotes have separate transponder chip and remote. Like this one, this is the remote PCB and this is the transponder. It's in a separate structure, and we usually call them ordinary remotes. For these remotes, you can use Xhorse wired remotes for generating. You have to connect the wired remote to the device via the remote programming cable to generate the remote. We enter remote program and we randomly select. Like Hyundai. These are smart keys, and you can see a prox in the right upper corner of each option. These remotes are non-smart key without prox sign. So you can see here, it tells you that you can generate this remote using Xhorse XK wire remotes, XN and XE wireless remotes. We'll talk about XN and XE remotes later. The second category of non-smart key is electronic integrated remote. Like this one. From the key, you can't see a separate Immo transponder because they have integrated the transponder and the remote into this little chip. And here you can see an inductor. This is the second type, which requires the use of the XN series wireless remote or XE series super remote for generating. Here it is a reminder that Xhorse ordinary remote is the XK series, the electronic remote is the XN series, and the super remote is the XE series. We can enter the menu to check, say, Buick models. Next, find non-smart key models, such as this electronic integrated model. We can see that it supports the XN and XE series and does not support the XK series. Models with electronic integrated remotes include Peugeot, Citroën, Buick, Chevrolet, and so on. The 2 types introduced above both belong to the ordinary non-smart key, where you may say non-proximity key. Xhorse also has a solution for smart keys. For smart keys, the commonly used solutions by car manufacturers include NXP and T solutions. There are many models that adopt the NXP solution, such as Volkswagen, Honda, Buick, Renault, and so on. The models that adopt the T solution include Toyota, Hyundai, Kia, and so on. For the NXP solution, we can use this Xhorse self-developed XM38 Smart Key or use Xhorse NXP Smart Key. For models adopting the T solution, we can only use the XM38 Smart Key. Now we will introduce the differences between this Xhorse NXP Smart Key and this Xhorse XM38 Smart Key. Xhorse NXP Smart Key supports remotes with NXP transponders, and Xhorse XM38 Smart Key is compatible with both NXP and T solutions, which means the XM38 series supports all types of smart keys. For example, for Toyota 4D, 8A types, or models with 8A transponders such as Subaru, Hyundai, Kia, and so on, you have to use the XM38 series instead of the NXP series, because the NXP Smart Key does not support 4D or 8A. NXP Smart Key only supports types such as 46, 47, 49, 48, MQB, and so on. This is the difference between our 2 smart keys. You can see here. To generate this remote, you can use this Xhorse NXP series and XM38 series smart key. Take a closer look at the remote option, which are marked with XM38 Toyota and XM38 Hyundai. Let me explain the difference. The XM38 Toyota is the most powerful, supporting the generation of all options of Toyota, Subaru, and others. However, other XM38 universal smart keys only support generating models other than Toyota Subaru, such as Hyundai, Kia, and so on. Now we enter the Toyota option. The menu will have a detailed introduction, indicating that it only supports series, such as XM38 and XM38, and does not support NXP. It can be said that the remote only supports the XM38 Universal Toy T Smart Key and does not support the XM38 Universal Smart Key. Here you'll see the differences between the XE and XN series. Both the XN series and XE series support electronic remotes. However, the XN series only supports 46 and 47 electronic integrated remotes. The XE series supports a wider range of types including 46, 47, 4D, 8A, 8C, 8E, and so on. And our B5 XE series, Super Remote, XE to SFB, transponder supports more comprehensive types. Even types such as 49 and 4A can be supported. Remotes can be divided into 4 categories in total. 1. Ordinary remote. 2. Electronic integrated remote. 3. NXP Solution Smart Key. 4. T Solution Smart Key. These 4 categories can all be solved using our corresponding solutions. Ordinary keys correspond to the XK series wired remote. The electronic integrated remotes correspond to the XN series wireless remote or XE series super remote. The NXP Solution Smart Keys correspond to the XS series Smart Key, NXP Smart Key, and XM38 Smart Key. T Solution Smart Keys correspond to the XM38 Smart Key. The above is the introduction to the remote generation. Now let's go through the remote clone function. Enter remote clone. We can detect the remote frequency on this interface. The area below is for remote clone. In fact, most car remotes do not support direct clone. The remote clone function is mainly used to clone simple remotes such as garage remotes. Most car remotes can't be directly cloned. These remotes that can be copied can mainly be divided into 3 types. A. Fixed code. The data sent by the fixed code is identical every time, which is easy to clone. B. HCS300 rolling code with manufacturer password. This type can be cloned, but if you use it directly after cloning, there may be a phenomenon of code tracing happening. So, it's recommended to generate the remote after cloning. For type A and B, you can use the HCS divided by fixed code clone option here. Type C remotes are neither fixed codes nor HCS300, taking up 90% of the remotes in the market. If you enter the HCS divided by a fixed code clone, it may not be possible to clone or even display data. In that case, you can enter the special clone option. In special clone, regardless of the code type, the remote data can be cloned, but the data may not be usable, so we recommended that you generate the remote. For type A and type B remotes, they can be perfectly cloned and are usable, but if it is type C, it may not be usable even after successful cloning. Then, you can see the remote cloud recognition function here. If you don't know the remote type and whether it can be generated by this Xhorse remote, you tap it here to identify the remote, and the device will collect the remote data and display its information. However, limited by the size of the database and some data features that are very similar, it cannot guarantee the absolute accuracy of the results. Therefore, this function is mainly to provide a reference. That wraps up the remote clone feature of Keytool Max Pro. It's acknowledged that aside from the remote, an IMO transponder is a must-have in a car key. Without the transponder, the key is not able to work, and the transponders are different in different cars. At present, there are many types of transponders worldwide, such as for D60, for D70, G-chip, for C, for D63, and so on. We have estimated the proportion of transponder types in the market. You can take a look at the chart, and for these various transponders, we have designed and produced the Super Transponder XT7A. It supports conversion to the common transponders on the market. In summary, the Super Transponder XT7A are compatible with most of the transponder types. So what is generate transponder? The scenarios that require to generate a transponder are as follows. In the case where all the keys of a car have been completely lost, in order to make a key for the vehicle, we need to firstly generate the corresponding transponder. For example, if the car is 46 type, we need to enter the generate transponder and then select the IT for 6P CF7936 to generate. Some cars can be generated using a blank 46 transponder, so we can choose the new 7936 chip. Some cars have dedicated transponders, and we must enter a dedicated 46, the corresponding 46 option to generate. If the car owner has got a key, we only need to perform the transponder clone function. Most of the transponders support transponder clone. You can access transponder clone. Enter the transponder clone. The first step is to identify the original car key. After identification is completed, it will redirect to the clone page, and we can also tap to have a look. Here you'll see the list of the transponder types that our device currently supports for cloning. Some options, such as the IT for 896-bit online calculation, will display a little car and a key icon at the right, indicating that this key needs to be cloned near the car, which means that data needs to be collected on the car. The options without blue car icon are types that do not require to collect the data on the car and can be directly cloned with a new key. That is to say, IT for 6 and IT for 8 need to collect data on the car, while other types do not. In addition, some of these options must be cloned online, while others can be cloned offline. As long as the network is connected, all options can be cloned. It should be noted that transponder clone requires the use of Xhorse Super Transponder XT7A.